With this, the charioteer turned his horses towards the ships, and they flew forward, nothing loath. Their chests were white with foam, and their bellies with dust, as they drew the wounded king out of the battle. When Hector saw Agamemnon quit the field, he shouted to the Trojans and the Lycians, saying, "Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanian warriors, be men, my friends, and acquit yourselves in battle bravely. Their best man has left them, and Zeus has vouchsafed me a great triumph. Charge the foe of your chariots, that you may win still greater glory." With these words he put heart and soul into them all, and as huntsman hounds his dogs on against a lion or a wild boar, even so did Hector Eurybates hound the proud Trojans on against the Achaeans. Full of hope, he plunged in among the foremost and fell on the fight like some fierce tempest that swoops down upon the sea, and lashes its deep blue waters into fury. What then is the full tale of those whom Hector son of Priam killed in the hour of triumph, which Zeus then vouchsafed him? First, Asius, Atenolus, and Opites, Dolops, son of Clytius, Ophiliates, and Aglius, Asionomas, Orus, and Hippodomus. Steadfast in battle, these chieftains of the Achaeans did Hector slay. Then he fell upon the rank and file, as when the west wind hustles the clouds of white south beats them down with the fierceness of its fury. The waves of the sea roll high, and the spray is flung aloft in the rage of wandering wind. Even so thick were the heads of them that fell by the hand of Hector. All had then been lost, and no help for it, and the Achaeans would have fled pell-mell to their ships, had not Odysseus cried out to Diomed, son of Tydeus, "What has happened to us, that we thus forget our prowess? Come, my good fellow, stand by my side and help me. We shall be shamed forever if Hector takes the ships." And Diomed answered, "Come what may, I will stand firm, that we shall have scant joy of it. For Zeus is minded to give victory to the Trojans rather than to us." With these words he struck Themedrius from the chariot to the ground, smiting him in the left breast with his spear. Odysseus killed Molion, who was his squire. These they let lie. Now that they had stopped their fighting, the two heroes then went on playing havoc with the foe, like two wild boars that turn in fury and rend the hounds that hunt them. Thus did they turn upon the Trojans and slay them, and the Achaeans were thankful to have breathing time in their flight from Hector. They then took the two princes with their chariots, the two sons of Merops of Percote, who excelled all others in the arts of divination. He had forbidden his sons to go to war, but they would not obey him, for fate lured them to their fall. Diomed and Tydeus slew them both, stripped them of their armor, while Odysseus killed Hippodamus and Hypercopas. And now the son of Cronos, as he looked down from Ida, ordained that neither side should have advantage, that they kept on killing one another. The sons of Tydeus and speared Agastrophus, son of Phaeon, in the hip joints with his spear. His chariot was not at hand for him to fly, but so blindly confident had he been. His squire was in charge of it at some distance, and he was fighting on foot amongst the foremost until he lost his life. Hector threw naught to the havoc of Diomed, and Odysseus were making and bore down upon them with a loud cry, followed by the Trojan ranks. Brave Diomed was dismayed when he saw them, and said to Odysseus, who was beside him, "Great Hector is bearing down upon us, and we shall be undone. Let us stand firm and wait his onset." He poised his spears as he spoke and hurled it, not did he miss his mark. He had aimed at Hector's head near the top of his helmet. The bronze was turned by bronze, and Hector was untouched, for the spear was stayed by the visor helm made with 3 plates of metal, which Phoebus Apollo had given him. Hector sprang back with a great bound under the cover of the ranks. He fell on his knees and propped himself with his brawny hand, leaning on the ground, for darkness had fallen on his eyes. The son of Tydeus, having thrown his spear, dashed him among the foremost fighters, a place where he had seen it strike the ground. Meanwhile Hector recovered him, and springing back into his chariot mingled with the crowd, by which means he saved his life. But Diomed made at him with his spear and said, "Dog, you have again got away through. Death was close on your heels. Phoebus Apollo, to whom I win you pray ere you go into battle, has again saved you. Nevertheless I will meet you and make an end of you. Hereafter, if there is any god who will stand by me too, and be my helper, for the present I must pursue those I can lay hands on." As he spoke, he began stripping spoils of the son of Phaeon, Paris, husband of lovely Helen, aimed an arrow at him, leaning against the pillar of the monuments which men had raised. Ilus, son of Dardanus, a ruler in the days of all. Diomed had taken the curse of the breast of Agastrophus, his heavy helmet, also and the shield from off his shoulders, when Paris drew his bow and let fly an arrow that sped not from his hand in vain, but pierced the flat of Diomed's right foot, going right through it, and fixing itself in the ground. Pharion Paris, with a hearty laugh, sprang forward from his hiding place, taunted him, saying, "You are wounded, my arrow has not been shot in vain. Would that it had hit you in the belly and killed you, for thus the Trojans, who fear you as goats fear a lion, would have had a truce from evil." Diomed, all undaunted, answered, "Archer, you who without your bow are nothing, slanderer and seducer, if you were to be tried in single combat fighting in full armor, your bow and your arrows would serve you little. Instead, vain is your boast, that you may have scratched the sole of my foot. I care no more than if a girl or some silly boy had hit me, a worthless cow which inflicted a single wound. When I would wound a man, though I would graze his skin, it is not another matter, for my weapon will lay him low. His wife will tear her cheeks for grief, and his children will be fatherless. There will he rot, reddening the earth with his blood, and vultures not women will gather round him." Thus he spoke, but Odysseus came up and stood over him. Under his cover he sat down to draw the arrow from his foot, and sharp was the pain he suffered as he did so. Then he sprang on to the chariot and bade the charioteer drive him to the ships, for he was sick at heart. Odysseus was now alone, not one of the Argives stood by him, for they were all panic-stricken. "Alas," said he to himself in his dismay, "what will become of him? What will become of me? It is ill if I turn and fly before these odds, but it will be worse if I am left alone and taken prisoner, for the son of Cronus has struck the rest of the Danaans with panic. But why talk to myself in this way? Well do I know that though cowards quit the field, a hero, whether he wound or be wounded, must stand firm and hold his own." While he was thus in two minds, the ranks of the Trojans advanced and hemmed him in, and bitterly did they come to rue it, as hounds and lusty youths set upon a wild boar that sallies from his lair, whetting his white tusk, that they attack him from every side, and can hear the gnashing of his jaws, but for all his fierceness they still hold their ground. Even so furiously did the Trojans attack Odysseus. First he sprang spear in hand upon Diopetus, and wounded him on the shoulder with a downward blow. Then he killed Pheon and Enotus. After thus he struck Cercidamus and the loins under his shield, as he had just sprung down from his chariot. So he fell in the dust and clutched the earth in the hollow of his hand. These he let lie, and went on to wound Charos, son of Hippasus, own brother to noble Zopus. Zopus, hero that he was, made all speed to help him when he was close to Odysseus. He said, "Far-famed Odysseus, insatiable of craft and toil, this day you shall either boast of having killed both the sons of Hippasus and stripped them of their armor, or you shall fall before my spear." With these words he struck the shield of Odysseus. The spear went through the shield and passed on through his virtually raw Curtis.